Well, yeah, and your brother was being a damn hater. Why didn't I come up with that? That sounds real good. I want my name attached to it. Answer no, I don't want to do it. Hey. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook and or Twitter. Subscribe and visit uptopbeauty.com for these Priscilla frames. All Priscilla frames, all of them, will be on sale for $15 until the end of this month. In addition to that, don't forget, all orders over $40 will come with a free gift. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Prince Harry's spell. I got up each day, went to the base, did my work, enjoyed none of it. It felt pointless and boring. I was bored to tears. More for the first time in years, I was without a purpose, a goal. What's next? I asked myself every night. I begged my commanding officers to send me back. Back where? To the war. Oh, they said no. In March 2013, word came down that the palace wanted to send me on another royal tour. My first since the Caribbean. This time, America. The whole American tour lasted only 5 days. A true whirlwind. So many sights and faces and remarkable moments. Let me tell you something about DC. Yes, DC was or used to be the hood. Okay, you know I'm from DC, the old DC, Chocolate City. One thing that will remain absolutely beautiful about Washington, DC is our museums and our monuments. Man, listen. The most beautiful sight when I'm traveling home is when I cross that bridge in Virginia and I look over to my left and I see the Jefferson Memorial. Man, it's beautiful. The whole American tour lasted only 5 days. A true whirlwind. So many sights and faces and remarkable monuments. But on a flight home, I was thinking about only one part. A stop off in Colorado. Something called the Warrior Games. Now, pay attention because the Warrior Games is going to be a very, very interesting concept for Prince Harry. A stop off in Colorado, something called the Warrior Games, a kind of Olympiad for wounded soldiers with 200 men and women taking part, each of whom inspired me. I watched them closely, saw them having the time of their lives, saw them competing to the hilt, and I asked them, how? Sport, they said, the most direct route to healing. Most were natural athletes, and they told me these games had given them a rare chance to rediscover and express their physical talents despite their wounds. As a result, it made their wounds, both mental and physical, disappear. And so on the flight back to Britain, I kept going over those games in my mind, wondering if we could do something similar in Britain. A version of those warrior games, but perhaps with more soldiers, more visibility, more benefits to participants. I scribbled some notes on the sheet and paper, and by the time my plane touched down, I had the essential idea sketched out. The first step would be pitching the Royal Foundation Board, which oversaw my charitable projects, and Willie's and Kate's. It was our foundation, so I told myself, no problem. This was early summer 2013. Willie and Kate, weeks from having their first child, were going to be out of commission for a while. The foundation, therefore, didn't have any projects in the pipeline. I realized how badly I wanted this for the soldiers and their families, and the board said yes. Thrilled, I reached out to Willie, expecting him to be thrilled as well. He was sorely irritated. He wished I'd run all this by him first. My assumption, I said, was the other people had done so. He complained that I'd be using up all the funds in the royal foundations. That's absurd. I was told only a £500,000 grant would be needed to get the games going, a fraction of the foundation's money. What was going on here? I wondered. Then I realized, my God, is it sibling rivalry? No, well, yeah. And your brother was being a damn hater. Why didn't I come up with that? That sounds real good. I want my name attached to it. And so, no, I don't want to do it. Hey. My official life was all about being in public, standing up in front of people, giving speeches and talks, doing interviews, and now I found myself nearly incapable of fulfilling these basic functions. Hours before a speech or public appearance, I'd be soaked with sweat. Then during the event itself, I'd be unable to think, my mind buzzing with fear and fantasies of running away. Time and again, I just managed to stave off the urge to flee. I'd always be sensitive to heat like Pa. He and I would joke about it. We're not made for this world, we said. Bloody snowmen. The dining room, for instance, was our version of Dante's Inferno. Harry said the scenario would go like this. Everybody sitting at the table, burning up. Because you know old people are cold all the time. You hear me? Like ridiculously cold all the time. They sweltering in their full outfit because they got to come down to the table dressed properly. But all them sitting down in their royal outfits, sitting at the table, sweating, okay? And then all of a sudden, Granny would reach over to her purse. You know, old people always got to look for a handkerchief or a napkin or something to wipe their nose because they be cold all the time. She looking in her purse. Prince Charles look over at Harry. Harry would jump up, crack the window. Okay, so they can get a brief second of breeze. Granny would come up with her napkin, crumpled up just like this, that she done had in her purse for 2 days, wipe her nose and be like, is it a draft in there? It's so cold, is one of the windows open? One of the windows, hurry! Behind all this hand wringing about me was something more substantial than tittle-tattle. It went to the whole underpinning of the monarchy, which was based on marriage. The great controversies about kings and queens going back centuries generally centered on whom they married and whom they didn't, and the children who issued from the union. You weren't a fully vested member of the royal family, indeed a true human being, until you wed. Bullshit, the bacon. That don't make no sense. Because what's wrong with being a bachelor? You know, I got two uncles. I got one great uncle, Uncle Roland, God bless you. That ninja stayed a player his whole life. Then the second one, that would be my Uncle Finey. He stayed a player. He fell in love once. But then after that, child, he was playing the field forever. Now, that's a terrible way to live. For you to come out the vagina and your aspiration is to get married? Oh, my God. And you a man? A royal man? You weren't a fully vested member of the royal family, indeed a true being, until you were wed. No coincidence that Granny, head of state in 16 countries, started every speech. My husband and I. When Willie and Kate married, they became the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. But more important, they became a household, and as such were entitled to more staff, more cars, bigger home, grander office, extra resources, engraved letterheads. I didn't care about such perks, but I did care about respect. As a confirmed bachelor, I was an outsider, a non-person within my own family. If I wanted that to change, I had to get hitched. That simple. Right there, that whole statement right there is just full of shenanigans. So that tells me that there's a huge possibility that you will end up with someone you do not love. All of which made my 29th birthday a complex milestone and some days a complex migraine. I shuddered to think of how I might feel on the next birthday, 30, truly over the hill, to say nothing of the inheritance it would trigger. Upon reaching 30, I'd receive a large sum left to me by Mummy. I scolded myself for being gloomy about that. Most people would kill to inherit money. To me, however, it was another reminder of her absence, another sign of the void she'd left, which pounds and euros could never fill. I would agree. When my mom died, it left me and my sister pretty good. At the same time, it just reminded me that I only had this money because my mother wasn't here. The best thing I decided was to get away from birthdays, get away from everything. I decided to mark the anniversary of my arrival on Earth by traveling to its end. I'd already been to the North Pole. Now I wanted to walk to the South Pole. Another trek in the company of walking with the wounded. People warned me that the South Pole was even colder than the North. I laughed. How could that be possible? I already froze my penis off. Also, this time, I know how to take proper precautions. Snugger underwear, more padding, etc. In between preparations for the assault on the pole, I sat with my new private secretary, Ed Lane Fox, who we all called Elf, November 2013. A one-time captain in the household cavalry. Elf was trim, smart, sleek. He often reminded people of Willie down to his hairline. I want to know why the hell Harry keep talking about Willie's hairline. Harry, don't you see that big bald spot back here looking like, girl, you don't see that? This is that. God, Virgos, y'all be just as funky and fucked up as everybody else, but I swear y'all be thinking y'all be the exception to the rule. Willie going bald right here. You going bald back here, bruh. Back here, that shit is quite just because when you take a picture, you still look good from the front. But baby, when you turn around, you fucked up. You is fucked up. That's how I know your head is so big. Ooh. What is wrong with Prince Harry? He be going in on his brother hairline. His greatest gift, though, might have been his knack for searing to the heart of things, for sizing up and simplifying situations and problems, which made him the perfect man to help enact this ambitious idea of an international warrior games.